Raw TV. I am not black.
All right, peace family. We are now live. Let me just move the Buddha over. Shout out to everybody in the building. We about to get started. Okay, yeah, I see y'all in the chat. All right, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all tell your friends and family we are now live. Going to be a great show tonight, a very much needed topic that we are going to discuss. So it's going to be good. Get comfortable. Let me get to a quick commercial for my brother King Simon, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
All right. That was a real short commercial. Want to welcome back to the platform, Conjure Queen. Welcome back, sister.
Peace, family. It's great to be back.
Indeed, indeed. We got a real important topic for them tonight. I know I've seen you upload a clip on Instagram about this topic. So I said, I got to holler at you when it comes to this. People got a lot going on, Conjure Queen. And when you have a lot going on and when you're interacting with the world and work and just events and places, you get energy on you. You get this energy on you from other people. And people don't understand the dynamics of energy. And that's what people like you come into place and you teach us about, you know, energy and cleaning energy and things of that nature. And a lot of people in the spiritual community believe that spiritual baths are very beneficial when it comes to cleaning your aura. So to start out with, could you tell us about what exactly, for those who may not know, a spiritual bath is? And could you tell us the energetic benefits, us being energetic beings, the energetic benefits of a spiritual bath?
Okay, so basically a spiritual bath consists of cleansing the aura, and also there's many different types of spiritual baths, right? There are spiritual baths to cleanse and to remove negativity. There are spiritual baths to actually enhance your energy, to become more magnetic, to become more attractive, to be more handsome, more beautiful. There's also spiritual baths for like money, for power, for wealth. Like it's a whole list of different spiritual baths. But when it comes to being an empathic person or a spiritualist, it's very important that we learn how to practice proper spiritual hygiene. So everybody takes their regular showers every day, I would hope, right? And we also have to incorporate like spiritual showers or spiritual baths, right? Because when we don't do that, for those who are empathic, let me put it this way. Every day that you walk outside, whether you go into the store, going to work, going to school, wherever you may go, you are interacting with different people. And even if you're not directly interacting with people, if you go into the elevator, if you touch the handle of a door, you're interacting with other energies or residual energies there. And that's not even including the disembodied spirits, right? Things that we can't physically see with the eye. So when you take your spiritual baths, it not only helps to keep you grounded, but it also helps to align your chakras, because that's what you're really working with, is the energetic body.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't familiar, you know, because of the senses in the eyes. We're not familiar with our energetic bodies. So when you say something like a spiritual bath, person's like, what's the purpose? You know what I'm saying? They just don't get it.
So okay, I'm gonna put it this way again, right? Like we have to take, when you don't take a physical shower, you're gonna stink. You're gonna attract all types of flies, bacteria, people gonna be repelled from you. Your energy is just gonna be very repellent. So now when you think about what happens when you don't take a physical bath or a physical shower for days or weeks or months, whatever, think about that for a moment. Think about how itchy you will feel. Think about the scent or the smell that you will exude, right? Yeah. It's going to be disgusting. So now picture what your spiritual energy will feel like, will look like, will smell like on the astral realm. And guess what? Likes attracts like. So if you out here and your spirit is smelling funky, you're going to attract some funky spirits to you. And this is
Right.
the reason why there's some people who always have this stream of bad luck. Why? Because they have this funk, the spiritual funk around them. And guess what? When you go outside and the other spirit recognize that scent, they can easily latch onto you. Easy. And not only that, but you also attract other people or beings that may have these low vibrational entities to them, right? So when we take our spiritual baths, we're also raising our frequency, our vibration. And when you're doing that, it is more difficult for these lower vibrational entities to latch onto you. And there's different elements. We're going to get deeper into it as we go into the live family, but there's deeper elements when it comes to spiritual baths, right? Like the water itself is very cleansing. Water itself is very powerful. Water is a powerful conduit of energy. We are electrical beings. We're not just made out of bone and blood and flesh, right? Like we have so much energy within us. And when we're not properly working with that energy, it can short circuit. It can create blocks in our body. And sometimes some people may realize that these energetic blocks or spiritual blocks, it starts to manifest into the physical. And this is sometimes manifested like a hex or a curse, right? Like if somebody throws a hex at you, or even unintentionally with evil eye, right? Whether people could watch your social media and they're jealous of your relationship, they're jealous of your success, they're jealous of who you are, how many people show you love. Especially if you're an influencer, you have a lot of evil eye coming at you consistently. So you have to spiritually cleanse and balance your energy.
How often, Conjure Queen, should one take a spiritual bath? How often?
Okay, so that depends, Rich, because honestly, let's say it's a person who possibly, let me see. If you're a person who does readings, right? Or you constantly have to deal with people. Let's say you work in a hospital, you work in a mental health clinic, you work in, you probably work in like customer service, right? Call centers, like even if it's on the phone and you're engaging with people, whether it's through online, you're live streaming, you're talking to your audience, you're an influencer. If you deal with people consistently and you're always dealing with different energies, or if you work in a place that's very hectic, even living in a place like your roommates could be crazy and hectic, right? Like it's very important that you cleanse your own spiritual body. And I would say like you would probably do it at least once a week, at least. And this is because everybody is different, Rich, right? Because let's say if you do psychic readings, you're supposed to do it every day. And
every day?
Every day. Because you know what? Like, I'm going to tell you why. And I know it seems excessive, but it depends on how sensitive you are and how much energy you pull in. Because everybody's body is different. Our spiritual body, like for instance, there's some people who have a higher immune system, right? Some people, they hardly ever get sick. And then there's some people who get sick frequently. So they got to always be on their like eating healthy, exercising, because they know if they eat too much sugar or if they go out and have drinks or whatever it may be, they'll get sick or their body will be out of whack. Right. Versus other people who don't even have to eat healthy, don't do nothing, they never get sick. Because everybody's immune system and also their spiritual aura is different. Right? Everybody's aura is different. Everybody's spirit is different. And one spiritual bath that may work for one person may not necessarily work for another person because it doesn't agree with their energetic body. And just to add on to that, because Rich was saying, what about people that don't understand what is a spirit? What is this aura? So basically you have a physical body. This is what we can see on the third dimensional realm, right? 3D. Then you have like your astral body or your spiritual body. This is the body that you usually travel with if you astral project or in the dream world. Or for those people who ever, what's the name of it? It's a specific camera. It starts with a K. I can't think of it. But I know they do it in Chinatown here in New York, where they take a picture of you and they can see like your aura, and the lady will read your aura. But the reason why that
Krillian photography.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
He just said it. That camera right there can capture your aura. So you know that the aura is actually a real thing if a camera can capture it energetically, right? Just because the physical eyes cannot see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. However, there are some people that are able to see beyond the light spectrum or the five senses, and they can just look at a person and see auras, right?
You able to do that? Can you see auras?
You know what, Rich? Yes, I can see not only just auras, but when I walk down the street, like I have to do certain rituals and certain groundings whenever I go out, because sometimes I can see even like entities that are attached to people, right? Like there's some people who have auras that are really beautiful. Like you can see butterflies and flowers around them, and it's like this nice, pretty pink like halo. To me, right? Like to different people, that's what I see that got good auras. And then it could be somebody who probably has really low energy, probably never took a spiritual bath, probably work with, really hectic coworkers, probably hate their job, hate their life, hate their marriage. And you can see like serpents around them, but not in a bad way, because serpents could be good, but it's like poisonous vipers. And you can see like this disgusting like aura emanating from them. And sometimes I can even smell people's energy, smell like their spirit. And I know I had mentioned this before on one of my videos, like signs that you might have a spiritual attachment to you, or a lower vibrational entity, or somebody sent something to you, is if you smell like rotten egg, or a dead rat, like something died, feces, a really sour smell. These are entities or beings that are very low vibrational. And if you smell this or you get whiffs of it and nobody else around you smell it, it means that it's intentionally aimed at you. Get me? Or you might be in a space, you might be psychic, and you might be able to smell it in a space. When you do that, when you do smell that, you can take a spiritual bath. You can say a mantra or an affirmation to raise your vibration to keep that entity away. But it really depends on, like I said, the individual. But the stronger the foul stench, that means that the spirit is more closely latched onto you, right? Somebody has sent the spirit of the dead to you, especially if you get those big blowflies in your house, and let's say your windows is closed, doors is closed, you don't know where all these flies is coming from, you don't know where all these cockroaches is coming from. Infestation, pestilence is a sign of like psychic attack, witchcraft, sorcery, right? Somebody sent that to you.
Well, how do you know? You talked about our immune system, and we hear the health experts, Dr. Laila Africa, Dr. Sabi, talk about strengthening your immune system. How does somebody know if they have a weak spiritual immune system? How do you know that? And how do you strengthen it?
Okay, so usually if you have a weak spiritual body, you will always feel drained, always tired, no matter if you get plenty of sleep, right? Sometimes you can even feel like a heaviness to you because you may have a hole in your aura. Now, I'm explaining this for like people who may not be as sensitive or psychically inclined, so they may not really know. But a person who may be psychic, they can instantly know when something is off with their energy, right? For people that's less in touch with their body or less in touch with what's going on with them, people that's always distracted, always busy with work, always busy with the kids, always busy with life, and they don't have time for themselves, they can go a very long time not realizing that their spirit is screaming out like, yo, I need a cleanse. I need a Olympia. I need a bath, right? And Olympia, even though it's not bathing per se in water in a bath, is when you take an egg and you cleanse yourself with it, like from head to toe. And some people can even read the egg where after they finish rubbing their bodies down with an egg, you can do this for children as well. Like if you have a newborn baby, they say to do this because sometimes people can send evil eye to your babies. And that's why your baby is always hollering and screaming, can't sleep. And evil eye, not only that, but sometimes evil eye can lead to like sudden crib deaths. Like it gets real. Evil eye is a big thing. You would take the egg, you would cleanse your body, and you will crack the egg in like a glass of water, and you can read it. If it has a whole bunch of bubbles in it, then 9 times out of 10, like those are spirits. Like when the bubbles are at the bottom, that's a bad sign. Or if you see blood in the egg, that means, yeah, somebody definitely out to get you, and you got some brujeria on you, witchcraft.
Real quick, you mentioned evil eye several times. For those who may not know what you're referring to, what are you referring to when you keep saying evil eye? Evil
eye. Okay, so evil eye, for those who may not know, is when it's basically the green eye monster, right? It's the jealousy. It's the why does he have that and I don't have that? It's the I want what she has. And sometimes it's not always, like I said, it's on purpose. Sometimes somebody might really be flattering you or really giving like a compliment, like, oh my God, wow, like I wish I had a life like you, or I wish I had a beautiful daughter like that, or beautiful son. And they may not mean no harm, but they could be wanting what you have, and by wanting that, they can be sending bad vibes to you. You get what I'm saying? But there's ways to protect yourself. Like what I'm wearing right now, I don't think you guys can really see it, but it's like an all-seeing eye. I wear it all the time. Okay, yeah, I wear it. My all-seeing eye thing. I wear my bracelets just to keep the evil eye away from me, because you know, like I said, like when you're an influencer or when you have a lot of eyes on you, there's not always people that have good intentions. And I'll say this too, Rich, while it's on my mind. The people who tend to cast like evil eye the most are magical people. People who may have spiritual power and may not know it. Like there's certain things like my grandmother used to always tell me that, you know, there's some people that's born with a certain thing in their stomach. I forgot what she called it, but it's like people, it goes all the way back to like the indigenous natives here, or the indigenous Americans here in Africa. They say that some children are born with this gift in their stomach, and they have to be really careful because whatever they speak, it comes true. Right. So whenever I used to get mad, I would have say like, oh my God, I hate this person. Like my grandma would be like, don't say that, because we have the gift to make things happen when we speak it. And anybody in here, I don't know if anybody ever realized that or noticed, like if you ever was angry at somebody and you notice like something bad happened to them and it was probably unintentionally, and you be like, oh shit, like I did that. When you have magical gifts or spiritual power, whether you know it or not, if you send evil eye to somebody, it can do a lot of damage to them. Real talk. So magical people, and you have a lot of spiritual magical people that watch your channel, Rich, right? So do I. So that means that the likelihood of evil eye being sent to us is much higher.
I mean, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, right? Like the amount of evil eye from spiritual people, like even going to live lectures and live events is even more intense, because the energy is right there front and center in your face, and you're constantly interacting with people. Right. And I think I mentioned this to you before, like in the last video we did about like why like sometimes I'm a little hesitant about doing as many like live events, because the energy, it'd be a lot of energy, a lot of intense energy. And yes, you can spiritually bathe, you can wear protection, but sometimes you can still feel it. It doesn't matter. Like right now, I got my selenite, my little selenite wand here next to me while I'm doing this, because you already know selenite helps to repel. Well, for people that don't know, selenite is a crystal that neutralizes negative energy or unwanted energy, and it transforms it into energy that you can use.
All right, so let's get to some of the ingredients in this spiritual bath, Conjure Queen. What do you put in your spiritual bath? I done heard about essential oils and flowers, and I think I heard way back in the day, Bobby Hemmings said put like a teaspoon of bleach, I think he said.
Yeah.
So I done heard a lot, but tell me, what should people put in their spiritual bath?
Okay, so you know what? It's so many spiritual baths. It's like thousands of them. But I'm gonna give you guys some freebies, right? So let's say if you, for the ladies, right? Let's say ladies, you looking for a boo, or you about to go to your D appointment, right? Or whatever it may be. You want to be attractive. You about to go out. What you need to do is take a spiritual bath, or make some, like boil some catnip, right? And if you bathe in that, ladies, listen, let me tell you, like the fellas are gonna be going crazy for you. And for the fellas, if you want to be super attractive or you want to exude like this powerful magnetic masculine energy, High John the Conqueror root, put some of that in your spiritual
Say that
bag.
again. Put some of what? What is
High
it?
John, look, he's like, let me get some of that. What's that called?
What you said?
It's called High John the Conqueror root.
Wow.
It looks like a little walnut, but it's powerful. Okay, like an old Southern person told me this. Like, just get a little bit of whiskey, let it boil a little bit, simmer. Add a little bit of that to your spiritual bag. And fellas, if you add a little bit of allspice to that, listen, okay, the ladies are gonna be on you like crazy, crazy. So that's for attraction. Yeah. Now, if you saying, you know what, I feel like my energy is really heavy. Like I work with all of these crazy people. Like every day I go to work. First of all, while it's on my mind, let me tell you this. Put a little bit of salt in your shoes when you go out, especially if you know you're about to like go into a very hectic place or whatever it may be, a lot of people going shopping, whatever. Put a little bit of salt in your shoes, because what it does is salt does whatever you tell it to do. If you enchant the salt, put a little bit in your shoes. Tell the salt to protect you. Tell the salt so, you know, wherever you walk, wherever your feet go will lead you protected. You will not walk into any mess. You will not walk into any hex. You will not walk into anything that doesn't serve you. And the salt will do that. It will neutralize anywhere you step, especially if somebody tries to poison you through the feet. Now, this is an old hoodoo thing, right? Like for somebody to poison you through the feet, they can make like a certain powder or a potion. They mix it up together. And if they want to make you sick or give you bad luck or curse you in any way, they can put powder by your door or put it somewhere where you'll walk over and you'll track it right back home. This is why I always take shoes off when I come in the house too. People should practice taking shoes off, because my grandmother was always saying like, I don't know what you stepped in, take your shoes off when you come in the house. She was the one that told me all of this stuff, like about your hair, how people can take your hair and if the birds get to your hair. Rich, you ever heard this saying before? Like, if you comb your hair out, right? And let's say if you put your hair in the garbage can. My grandmother used to tell me, like, if you do that, if the birds get to your hair and they make a nest out of it, like, not only is your hair going to fall out, but you're going to go crazy. You ever heard that?
I never heard that one. The only one I've heard about birds, Conjure Queen, is if they shit on you, is good luck. And I don't know if I'm ready for that luck, because I don't want no bird shit. That's all I heard about them. You never heard that one?
No, I heard of that one before, and bird shitted on me, but I don't know if I got good luck or not. Yeah. I heard that, but yeah, if a bird gets your hair and they make a nest out of it, or if somebody takes your hair and puts it in a bird's nest, yes, you will go crazy. Your hair will fall out. Yes. So I don't know why that just came on my mind, but it's just like it's these old hoodoo sayings, and I feel like it's in our culture, but people don't realize it. It'd be like the main like religious people that still believe in these old hoodoo sayings from our ancestors, but then they be like, the stuff we talk about is evil. But crazy, then you're still practicing it.
Still practicing it, yeah.
Right. I'm like, yo, it's so ingrained in our history and our culture, right? Like even they say it was a joke about like don't sweep a black person's foot because they'll be ready to fight you. You ever heard that? You know about the sweeping of the foot?
Yeah, I know that.
You go to jail, sweep your foot, you won't get married. Anyway, I got off track. What were we talking about?
We was talking about the ingredients and the
ingredients. Yes, the ingredients. So what I said, you was talking about cleansing, right? If your energy is low, and let's say you feel like you got something on you, I'm gonna give y'all a spiritual bath that is not necessarily a bath, but it's a shower. And a Haitian woman taught me this, and it works. But it's not conventional. Okay, I don't know if anybody heard this one. One of the cheapest spiritual baths, the most effective spiritual baths you can do to cleanse your energy is to take your morning urine and pour it over yourself, and then cleanse and wash it. Rich, I'm telling you, a Haitian lady has from you. This is what I mean, though. Like when I say stuff like this, right? Like you see how it's so like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Oh, that's nasty. But before we were our things that came from our body was sacred, right? Like the ancient Kemites or Egyptians believed that everything that came from the human body had power to it. The human tear, saliva, semen, vaginal fluids, feces, urine, all of these things had magical power, but you had to know how to use it, right? So that's one way.
So you said the urine first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning.
It has to be when you first wake up in the morning because that's when it's the strongest. And then you'll pour it over your body. But of course, you'll shower after that, right? Because you don't want to go anywhere smelling like piss. But that's the most affordable thing. Let's say if somebody threw something at you, you ain't got the money to go and go to the Botanica. You're like, yo, let me just cleanse myself real quick. You can do that. Now, another one you can do is I like to take some rue herb, a little bit of ammonia, and sometimes some Epsom salt. Put a little bit of salt in your bath, and you can add some Florida water too, and you sit in it so it can get up in your pores. Now, there is some debate though, Rich, in the spiritual community about like whether one should sit in the physical bath or if they should be in a shower and pour it over them. I think that it really depends on what feels right to you, right? Some people, like I remember a lady in Santeria, she was telling me like the way that they practice it is if you want to cleanse yourself, like to break a hex or to remove something, you would pour it over you, but you won't sit in it. She was like, you don't want to sit in the bad stuff. You want to pour it over you and rinse off and clean off, and you can still towel dry. But when it comes to like sweet work, you can actually sit in the bath because you want it to get up in your pores, and you wouldn't towel dry or wipe off. You would air dry because you want it to seep into you.
How important is Florida water, Conjure Queen?
How important is it? Well,
and what is it? Because I'm sure we hear the name, but everybody doesn't know what it is.
Okay. Florida water is it's a cologne, and it is kind of like it's like the holy water that brujas use, spiritual people use. It's to clean your energy. It smells nice. It's like an all-purpose type of cologne that a lot of people put in their spiritual baths. Some people can put a little bit in their floor wash, right? If you take you can even take a little bit of your spiritual bath and like add it to your floor wash for like extra power, whether it's to cleanse or to remove. But yeah, Florida water, I feel like everybody should have Florida water. It doesn't hurt to have it. Keep a little one in your purse. Keep one on your altar. Pour a little bit like in a cup of water and put it on your altar for your ancestors, because they say Florida water helps to attract good spirits to you. Like we was talking about earlier, Rich, right? About like bad smells attract bad energy. Good smells attract good energy, right? Because when you stink, nobody want to talk to you, nobody want to be around you. But when you smell good, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you smell good!" Like, girl, what is that? Like, they want to be all up on your body. You know what I mean? Same with Florida water, you attract good energy to you.
What do you think, Conjure Queen, about the perfumes, like the popular perfumes, like, I don't know, Chanel and all of them, versus the, like the more natural woman, they may wear oils and stuff on them. Is one more spiritual than the other? Is one more poisonous? Obviously, a lot of people would say the perfume is more poisonous, but what's your thoughts on like the popular perfumes versus just having oils on your skin?
Well, I personally feel like it's a preference, right? Like if you're going for I just want to smell good, but you're not really thinking about like the spiritual aspect to it, then you can go ahead and buy you some Chanel perfume or whatever perfume you want, but you can still add your own little like oils with it, right? Like I feel like as spiritual people, sometimes we have to do things a little bit more different than normal or regular people, because we're more magnetic to certain entities in the astral realms. They can see us more clearly on the astral realms. Like it's like a radiant light that kind of it's like a beacon of light in the astral realm, and they can see you. But when you add like your conjure oils to your baths, whether it's like attraction oil, money oil, uncrossing oil, whether it's on your body or whatever, it has a certain purpose. So I think that is pretty, I think personally it's better when you make your own oils, because then you have your own scent, your own flow. And side note, you know, I was thinking too, Rich, right? Like a lot of perfumes, they add pheromones. Have you heard about that? Like they will add pheromones to the perfumes and the oils now to make people attractive. For people that don't know what pheromones is what all animals and humans have, right? When we're in heat or we're sexually aroused, we release these non-scented things called pheromones. And when a woman is ovulating, women, we can't smell it, but men can. And that's why men tend to be more attracted to you or find you more pretty, more sexy, more beautiful when you're ovulating. They don't know it, but it's biologically ingrained in their brain. Like it's nature for the man to be more attracted to you. And for men, the pheromones that we smell, like when a man sweats, it's super, super attractive to a woman, even though men be like, oh, don't hug me, I'm sweaty, I just finished working. But we like that shit. You know, we just don't say it, but a lot of us, we like the smell of a man's sweat. It's aphrodisiac. So when you get the when they add the pheromones to these colognes, it's better for you to add your own pheromones. Like use your own, right? Like ladies can dab a little bit of their essence, you know, on their pulse points with their perfume, and it will have a different scent or aroma than other people, right? Because when everybody adds certain oils to them, it doesn't smell the same because everybody's body chemistry is different. Right. Same with your pheromones and perfumes and oils. Patchouli oil, I feel like, is really good for attracting money. Like if you want to
say that again a lot, because somebody gives.
Let's talk about money a little bit. We was talking about sex attraction, but you know, what about the money? People like, listen, I gotta get some money. Patchouli oil, right? If you about to go gambling, or let's say, you know, you want to go ask for a raise or whatever it may be, add a little bit of patchouli oil to your hands, add a little bit of patchouli oil in your wallet, your purse, where your money is at, even some to your feet, so that you'll always walk where money is at, right? Be attracted to you. Patchouli is also good for it has a very masculine scent too. I find that patchouli is very earthy, so I like to add a little bit of that sometimes to my candle magic spells, because it helps to pull the things from the spiritual into the material. That helps to materialize things quicker, especially in money spells.
This is some interesting stuff. I'm glad you had this show tonight. This is some interesting stuff. Now, Conjure Queen, would you ever advise sharing a spiritual bath with someone if you're looking to manifest something with them? Like, let's say you and your mate are looking to buy a home. Would you ever, and you're doing like your spiritual bath thing, would you ever advise sharing a spiritual bath with them together?
You know, I think that if you guys have the same intention and you want to, let's say, I don't know, sex magic is coming to my mind right now, but I definitely feel like if you guys want to perform like Kama Sutra or do like Tantra, or you're about to partake in a sexual ritual to manifest a new house or to manifest better business or whatever, you and your mate, I definitely feel like taking a spiritual bath together. Taking a spiritual bath is always kind of like the prerequisite to a spell, because it helps to align the mind, the body with your intention. Now your aura is in sync with whatever intention that you want, like attracts like. So if you and your mate want to get a house or something, I would say bathing in like basil. Basil is really good for peace. It's also good for money. It's good for love. Like basil is very multi-purpose, and it's also ruled by the planet Mars. Well, not ruled by, but it's synchronized with the planet Mars. Fiery energy, passion. So it gets things moving quickly, as well as like with cinnamon.
Right.
A little bit of cinnamon.
Do you do certain spiritual baths, Conjure Queen, when the moon is in a certain phase? Because me and you did a show on the moon before. How does, you know, the moon controls the water, so how does spiritual baths and the moon connect with each other?
Right. Okay. I definitely do like to work with milk. a lot in my baths, like coconut milk.
Yeah.
During like full moons. Yeah, like the different milks. Listen, people be sleeping on milk, but I'm gonna say this, right? Even if you are a vegan and you like, yo, I don't mess with that milk, right? Like when you go back and you read like certain ancient scriptures and what type of bath that they use, let's think about Egypt for a second, right? Like the Neteru. When you think about Hathor, right, or Heteru, the goddess with the horns, the fertility goddess, she was also synchronized with the cow, and so they would use the milk from her udders because the milk is synchronized with the mother, the breast, like nurturing. So also milk can help pull energy off and release it. Like milk comes from the breast, and it's kind of like how can I put it? It's like cow milk can be used to cleanse and to purify, and goat's milk is also really good for like lust or fertility spells or baths, because the goat, which is synchronized with Pan, that sexual lusty energy. Goat milk can also be used for cleansing too. So yes, I like to incorporate coconut milk a lot of times in my bath. Like one of my signature baths that I always tell people that really is good is taking coconut milk with a little bit of Florida water, some rose water, a little bit of like cascarilla, which is like effun or the powdered egg whites, eggshells. And you take a bath with that, and it's supposed to cleanse your energy. It gives you clarity. I definitely feel like empaths should have that in their arsenal. If you're always feeling like your energy is scatter your thoughts, you can't really focus or concentrate, mental fog, right? These are signs that your spirit or your energy needs cleansing. Things is hazy, you can't think straight, you can't feel straight, like you just go out of whack. Right.
Wow. Okay.
But full moons, I would say normally like full moons, new moons. New moons is really good to take baths for like attraction and pulling things in to start the new moon cycle, right? And the full moon is more so for like, okay, you know what? Where the moon is dying, we're about to end this moon cycle. Let me clean my energy now. Let me release what doesn't serve me, so that now I can focus on getting ready for the new month, for the new moon that's coming. Right.
You know, the bathroom is a real spiritual place for a lot of people. It's a real tranquil place. People go there for peace and everything. And one thing that's different about the bathroom from the other rooms, Conjure Queen, is that there's no furniture in there. So my question to you would be is, do you think the least amount of furniture we have in our home, the more spiritual we can make our home? Because it's not, we're getting rid of all the clutter and the excess energy and stuff like that.
You know what? I never thought about that, Rich. You asked some really interesting questions. You know what? That's getting into feng shui.
Oh, yeah,
that's getting into okay, because feng shui is all about how you place certain furniture in your house, and also how the energy flows in your house. Honestly, if I would say this, I think that you can have a lot of furniture in your house. You can just don't have clutter. I feel like dust, dirt, clutter, sharp edges. And anybody in here can do a Google search when you get done with this live and look up, like, you know, feng shui tips. Like, what's bad feng shui? Like having a mirror facing your bed is bad feng shui. What else is bad feng shui? Like, I think that, you know what, Rich? I think that the reason why a lot of people, spiritual people, say that they get a lot of their downloads in a bathroom, or like when they're on the toilet or in the shower, I think it's just because in a bathroom is when like we're not disturbed by anybody, right? Like, especially if you live with people, it's like the bathroom is like where you could kind of just be to yourself, like be, whether it's on the toilet, in the shower, it's like your alone time. And not only that, but it's like water. Remember what I said before, right? Like water is a conduit of energy, and water is also a communication device to talk to your spirits. We're thinking about like spiritual technology now. I believe what it was called, I think it was the first, I don't forget what season it was, but in Stranger Things, when the psychic girl, she was in the bathtub, and I remember like she was like, listen, I gotta astral project and I gotta do this. In order for her to astral project, they had to put her in this water and put a whole bunch of salt. You remember that, right?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is even before I knew it was a really like a thing, but because that's something I used to always do. I'm like, I feel like I can channel better when I'm sitting in the bathtub and I fully submerge myself under water with a whole bunch of salt. So I'm like, that's crazy. But for those who feel like they may have blocked spiritually with communicating with their ancestors, or blocked spiritually with like telecommunicating, I feel like if you really want to tap into the spiritual realm, or want to astral project, or want to communicate to the psychic or spiritual realm, submerging yourself in salt waters or spirit, you could add whatever you want to add to the waters, but specifically just salt water, closing your eyes, being in it, meditating, you will find that you'll tap into certain frequencies that you probably never was able to tap into before.
You know, King Simon's in the chat. He says bathroom has the master numbers 66 and 77.
Look at that. Thank you, King Simon. I didn't even know that. That's very interesting. And 7 is a powerful spiritual number, so that would make sense too.
Wow.
So, good question. Furniture in the bathroom.
So when you say salt, are you a lot of people would assume you're talking about Himalayan sea salt? Is that the salt you're using, or just regular salt? Or
okay, I like using sea salt. Some people like to use the rock kosher salt. I know a lot of people that like I remember this lady, she practiced a lot of like ceremonial magic and like dealing with the Kabbalah, like the Jewish mystical system. Like she will always like swear by using like the big rock kosher salts, but that's just, I guess, what she was taught. So it really just depends on what feels right to you, right? Like some people may use the pink Himalayan salt for like love spells because it's pink and it reminds them of the, rose quartz or love. I just would say I wouldn't do it with black salt. Black salt is normally used for like banishing and sometimes for hexing. So, but some people may argue and say they use it in. That's why I said like it really depends on certain paths. But every different type of salt, Dead Sea salt is pretty cool. Epsom salt, which is most people use that in their baths anyway because it has magnesium in it. But I think any salt is pretty fine, because remember what I said earlier too, that salt, it can do whatever you tell it to do. It can be charged. It's literally crystals. So you talk to them, the quartz crystals, you talk to them, you tell them what to do. You put it in your bath, you put it in your shoes, you put it in your mixtures, whatever you want to do, and it'll do exactly what you tell it to do.
I don't think I've heard some people say talk to the salt. I've heard talk to the water.
Talk to the water too. Adding the salt to the water.
That's extra powerful.
It adds more ions to it. It adds more energy. It becomes more electrical. And remember, once again, water is a conduit of energy. We are electrical beings. By you soaking and sitting in the water, not only are you just rehydrating yourself, but some of us actually need to physically submerge in the water, especially if you come from Sirius, especially if you are a siren, especially if you have these ancient starseed children. You need to constantly communicate and hydrate and cleanse your body. Definitely. And by soaking in the salt water, you're recharging your spirit. It's like your everybody charges their phone, but how are you charging your physical body? By soaking in these salt baths, you recharge your energetic body.
Do you put crystals in your bath?
Sometimes I'll put crystals around my bath. The interesting thing though, Rich, I find that the deeper I get into spirituality, the less things that I do, right? Like I find that, not that I'm being lazy, like sometimes I do be lazy. I'd be like, you know what? I don't feel like getting all this extra stuff. I want to be simple today. But I find that less is more sometimes, like baking soda, right? Like baking soda is really good for cleaning your aura. If people is like, listen, Conjure Queen, I don't even have a bathtub. Listen, you don't need a bathtub. one thing that they used to do in the South, right? Like for people that were probably like having issues to get into a tub, or they didn't have a tub, they would soak their feet. They would do foot washes. They get a little basin or something and put your foot in a pot or whatever that could fit in the little foot bowls. And you soak your feet in that. Like you'll put your herbs in there. You could put your crystals in there, your oils, your whatever you want to put. And it will pull out the sickness or the negativity through the feet.
Wow. Very interesting.
That's why they tell women who are on a menstrual cycle that they should walk barefoot on the earth, because it will relieve you of your cramps. The negative ions from the earth and the grass helps to pull the excess positive ions in your body, and it neutralizes it, so that way your body is more grounded. Whenever you feel like you're just, I feel like spiritual people, sometimes our mind could be all up in the clouds, and we got to come back to reality and realize, like, hey, we still got to pay bills. Hey, we still got a life here. We still have a human experience. You got to come back down to reality and do some grounding and walk barefoot on the ground. That's why they have rubber in our souls. What was it? The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Have you ever seen that movie, Rich?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Everybody in here, it came out years ago. But
yeah.
It was giving us the freaking science. They put all of our secrets and all of our tools in these fantasy movies, and they make it seem like it's just a joke or it's just fantasy, but it's real. He basically was saying that sorcerers or witches are not supposed to have rubber in their souls because it disconnects them from the earth. And that's why we're not really able to tap into our frequency and energy like we used to.
Yeah, no, definitely. Everybody check that movie out, Sorcerer's what is this? Apprentice, yeah. Let me ask you this now. In terms of negative energy, Conjure Queen, people are very familiar with sage, but I've heard some people mention dragon blood sage. So can you talk to me about sage versus dragon blood sage, and which one would you recommend in terms of giving?
Okay, so what I'm about to say might ruffle some feathers, y'all.
Oh, here we go.
I know.
Here we go.
Sage, listen, sage is overrated. I love sage. It smells amazing. Look, Rich, I know y'all are mad at me, but listen, I always say this, like everybody knows about sage because it's popular, but sage does not remove negative energy like that. Sage just neutralizes the energy. So let's say, for instance, if you're about to do a ritual, right, you will burn the sage to kind of clear the energy. But if you want to set your intention, burn some Palo Santo behind that. Burn some cinnamon behind that. Burn some pine behind that. Some type of frankincense or something to sweeten up the energy. Because otherwise, it's like if you're just doing cleansing baths all the time, right? You washing away your luck. You got to bring the sweetness back in. So dragon's blood, I feel like is multi-purpose. I love dragon's blood because you can add it to your candles. You can add a little bit to your baths. You can add a little bit to your whatever you want to do. Dragon's blood can be used in incense mixtures for sweetness, for banishing. Dragon's blood pretty much gets rid of anything. Like if you got a heavy entity in your house, dragon's blood is good to get it out. Because y'all out here burning sage, thinking you're going to get rid of a demon in your crib, and that demon is sitting there laughing at you. If anything, you're just going to piss it off. And then once the smoke clear, the demon going to be on your ass the night of, okay, fucking you. And a lot of people...
you raw. Oh, shit. I wasn't ready for that. Oh, shit.
I'm telling you, these demons be pimping people out. And then they disguise themselves as your ancestors. You sitting here thinking you giving food to your ancestors, and the demons is pimping you out. And that's why they not doing nothing for you. You wondering why your money ain't increasing, but yet and still you feeding this spirit and nothing good is happening. No. You got to get the big boys out. You got to get like some benzoin. You got to get dragon's blood, 3 Kings incense that has all of it in it together. Okay. And you want to add a little bit of garlic powder. I know it might smell bad, but you're not trying to make it smell good. You want to get that spirit out. I just seen that message. You want to get it out. And let me say this too, Rich, while you brought up smudging, right? Smudging means to smoke and cleanse the house with smoke, right? Because we got different elements, right? The water, the fire, the air, and earth. When you smudging, you cleansing by air. Now, I want to just say this. People be smudging their house and they have the windows closed Where do you expect this demon to go? You don't have no outlet for the demon to leave or the spirit to leave your crib. You smudging it with the windows and the doors closed. You just have a whole bunch of spirits running around crazy. You gotta open up the windows, open up the doors, let them out, blow it out. That's what I do. After I smudge my house, I'll blow the smoke out the door. Or even blow it out the window and say, get the fuck out and don't you ever come back. But you gotta talk crazy to these demons, right? Because they in your crib and they not paying no rent. So why you letting them just rock in there? No, get them demons out your house.
Let me ask you this. Now you raw tonight, Conjure Queen.
I'm always raw, Rich.
You super raw tonight. I don't know what's up with you tonight, but all right. But listen, what should people go to a spiritual practitioner to get the proper spiritual bath? Or do you think this is something people could do on their own, come up with some ingredients that resonate with them? Right. Should we go to a spiritual expert, or is this something we could do on our own?
Excellent question, Rich. So I'm going to tell people this. One of the things that I always advocate on my channel is I'm here to teach people how to do things on their own. Right? Like the whole point of the spiritual journey is to study and learn how to be self-sufficient, because we're moving away from religion, right? Where religion tells us that we need to go to a priest in order to talk to God. We need to go to this pastor in order to be saved. So, I don't want people to switch that mindset and say, okay, I need to go to a Babalao in order to be cleansed. I need to go to this Ifa priest in order to, no, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, you have to go to these people to do it, right? Because there are some instances where some people may not be strong enough to make a spiritual bath that can break whatever curse is on them, right? For instance, let's say a really powerful bruja, which is a witch, right, puts a curse on somebody. Now, the person may know how to do some spiritual baths, but it's not working. It's not getting rid of the hex. Why is it not working? Because the witch that put the hex on the person is more stronger than the person who's trying to break it. So in that situation, that person will have to find a spiritualist that they trust that has enough ashe, which is spiritual power, to put into that spiritual bath with certain prayers and energy, because that spiritualist may have certain spirits on their side that can help to put power in that bath so that they can banish or break whatever hex is on that person. That is the only situation where a person will probably have to go to a spiritualist, because they may have to do a sacrifice. They may have to do a cleansing with a pork chop or something. Like when I was in Mexico, I learned a lot of stuff. Like I thought I knew shit, but I ain't know shit till I got to Mexico. They got some different type of magic over there. Like they teach you how to clean your body with meat, how to break hexes with a pork chop. I'm like, yo, I don't even eat pork, but
with a pork chop?
A pork chop, yes.
Hold up. You gotta explain that a little bit. What's this pork chop magic about? What is this pork chop magic about?
Magic? No, listen. In Mexico, they have this thing where you clean. Like they work a lot with Santa Muerte, spirit of the dead, the holy death, right? And so one of the cleanses that they do when they doing like a cleansing with her spirit is they'll take like a pork. You take pork, a pork chop, raw pork. You'll take the meat. You'll say certain prayers over it. You'll bless it a certain way with certain waters. You'll take the pork chop and you'll cleanse your body with it. Like rub your body all the way down. And then you have to put the pork chop, the raw meat in like a bag, tie it up and throw it out. Throw it like in a crossroads, or throw it somewhere where you'll never have to walk again. And the meat from the pork is supposed to remove whatever energy is on you. Especially like if it's a dead, like if you smell like dead spirit of the dead, because Santa Muerte is a death spirit, right? So she is the one who has the key to death. So nobody could put death on you without her permission, right? Any death spirit, Baron Sandy, Marta la Dominadora. And there's a really good book called Encyclopedia of Spirits, family, if you guys are interested in working with deities or learning how to work with spirits so that they can empower your spiritual baths and they can add more strength to your spells.
Right. So a lot of people, you know, they look forward to the actual spiritual bath. How important, I want to ask you, is the preparation? Because it seems like a lot of conjuring gets done within the preparation itself, going to buy the ingredients. Do you think is that process preparing for the spiritual bath? Do you think that's a slept on process? It almost reminds me of like when before you have sex and it's like the foreplay aspect, and people sleep on the importance of foreplay before the actual intercourse and how important that is. So how important is the preparation, you think, for the spiritual bath?
That was a good analogy,
Yeah.
comparison. I'll put it this way. A spiritual bath is not spiritual if it has no intention, right? Like that's the difference. Yeah, like that's what makes a regular bath, the mundane, from the spiritual, is when you add your intention into it. Is when you use your visualizations, right? Because if you just go into your cabinet and just be like, all right, you know what, I need a spiritual bath. Let me just get some salt real quick, throw that in there. All right, let me sit in this. No, it's like, okay, me personally, I like to talk to my ingredients. Like I be talking to them like they my baby. I be like, hey, Cinnamon, listen. I do.
That's how you said. I can tell you did that before. How you said it, I could tell you did that before. Hey, Cinnamon. Hey, Cinnamon.
Hey, Cinnamon, listen, baby. I'm gonna need you to help add some power to this spell, okay? I need you to add some fire to it. And then I'll talk to the parsley, right? And I'll be like, all right, parsley, you know I want you to add a little bit of abundance to this, right? Like help mama out. And I put it in there. Now, what I do to add a little bit of power to my baths is I like to blow tobacco on it, right? Like for people that don't smoke or that don't want to put it in their mouth, you can just put a little bit of tobacco in it, but it's more powerful like when you spray it with rum and then you activate it with the tobacco, because tobacco is very sacred, especially like in the indigenous American culture. Like they use tobacco almost in everything. Like even when you bury a little bit of tobacco with corn to give offerings to the dead, right? So I would talk to my herbs, I would talk to my minerals, I would talk into the water because water holds energy, right? And there's two methods of spiritual bath making, right? There's the cold method and the hot method. Now, the cold method is when you allow the herbs to sit in like cold water or room temperature water without boiling it. You just naturally let the oils sit and soak into it. And then the hot method is when you boil the water and then you put the herbs in. Now, the difference between the two is that cold water holds more vibration better. It holds vibration better. So
it does. Cold water.
Cold water. So if you speak into the cold water before you heat it up, it will hold your intention before you warm it up. Yes.
That's a question I was gonna ask that I didn't ask yet. The temperature of the water,
right?
Lukewarm, a little bit of cold, a little hot. Like, what do you think from your experience?
Cold, lukewarm, like a cold water, because when you think about chemistry, when you heat water up, when you add heat to anything, you're speeding up the molecules in a thing, and when the molecules are speeding up, it's activating it, right? But what I'm saying is, if you want to program the water, it's better when it's still, when the molecules are at rest, rather than moving around, if that makes sense.
No, No, I get it. Yeah.
Because, I'm trying to think of how to explain something magical in a scientific way. Right. That's why I'm like, does this make sense? But yeah, that is why. For some people, I feel like when you boil it, it's more active. You're activating it. So you enchant it when it's cold, and then you can go ahead and heat it up after if you want to. So it really depends on the purpose, right? Some things you can't use the cold method with, like if you're using a root, right? Because I talked about the High John the Conqueror root to be more magnetic and more attractive, like a man. And even power, like if you're about to go into a business meeting and you want to stand out from everybody else, you're about to go into whatever, like the High John the Conqueror root, you would have to simmer it. You have to simmer that because it's a root. So it takes a little bit longer for it to break down into the water. Right? It won't just break down with cold water sitting into it. And ladies, Jezebel root is what you can use. It's kind of like similar to High John the Conqueror root. The Jezebel root, when you wear that, it makes you more magnetic, but it also helps you to attract men with money. If you're into the entertainment industry, or you're a sex worker, you have an OnlyFans, I would say to get Jezebel root so that you can get high paying clients.
All right, we're gonna have to get to we having a great time here, but we got to get to some questions because the people got questions. I know I see y'all having a good time in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Brother Richards, we're live with Conjure Queen. We're talking about spiritual baths, removing negative energy, increasing your energy. Very necessary conversation. I'm gonna take a few questions before we get out of here.
Hold on, wait, can I say something real quick? Because I almost forgot.
Yeah.
So one thing a bath that I wanted to recommend to people, because Mercury retrograde is right around the corner and X is about to spin the block. So if you don't want any exes coming back, or if you feel like you've been thinking about your ex a lot and you just want to get that energy out of your system, you need to do a cord cutting bath. That cord cutting bath consists of 9 walnuts. You're going to take 9 black walnuts. On my YouTube video, I talk about 6, but I feel like 9 is really, really, really strong. That's when you're really sure, like, I'm over this person. I don't want no emotional attachments to them. I'm ready to move on with my life. I'm done here. You would basically take 9 black walnuts. The husk is still on it. You'll put it in like a big iron pot. You're supposed to use an iron pot. And you're going to let it boil or simmer for like 3 hours until the water turns like a red or like a brownish color, wineish brown color. And then you're going to sit in the bath and you're going to envision yourself cutting the cords or whatever energetic tie is to this person. You have to sit in the bath, submerge yourself in the bath, and you have to be like, I release, you got to say their name. I release X, Y, and Z from my mind, my body, and my spirit. I disconnect all cords from this person. I don't want them having any attachments to me. I want no emotional attachments at all. And you'll find that you will have no feelings for this person. However, that person will feel you moving on, and they may try to come back to rekindle that connection. Do not have any contact with this person. Do not open up communication with this person. Only do this when you're really ready to let go, because the walnut kills any feelings you have. Anything that grows under a walnut tree, it dies. So that's the whole reason why we use the reason,
right? That's the reason. Makes sense.
To kill the feeling, right? And also, too, family, I want to just mention that this new moon that's coming, we are going to be doing a road opener ritual, group ritual on the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a road opener ritual so that we can remove any blocks that's in our life, and also to bring in goodness and sweetness for the new year. I know a lot of people have been having financial blocks and feeling like all of this hectic energy. It's been a crazy year this year, so I know we're not trying to bring that into 2024. Let's just take this road opener bath to open up the path to success, and also to help us to connect to our ancestors and spirit guides.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. All right, let's get to a couple of questions.
Yes, questions. Q&A. I love the questions.
Oh yeah. Let me get to a super chat question. Those who
That's crazy. It's been an hour already, Rich. You don't even feel like it.
Crazy, right? No, it has. It definitely has. I just seen a quote of Conjure Queen. Hold on, because I just see. All right, well, let me ask this question. What baths are good for creativity?
What baths is good for creativity? I would say use marigold. I like to use marigold flower in my baths when I feel like I have creative blocks, or if I'm ready to start a new project and I need that extra fire to get me going. Marigold is really good.
Okay. I think you might have touched on this someone earlier, but the sister wants to know, what is a bath from wealth and money?
You could take parsley, my love. People be sleeping on parsley, but parsley is really good for abundance and luck and finances. Yep. And if anybody ever has any type of like issues with the law, you want to keep the law away, oregano is good.
Oregano, okay.
Oregano, yes. Listen, let me tell you, okay? You drive and you don't want no cop stopping you. Put some little oregano in your little mojo bag. Listen.
Yeah. Yes. Do you to have a fertility bath? The sister wants to know.
A fertility bath.
Yeah.
What can she use for fertility? Well, they say that
I'll be right back. You can talk. I'll be right back, Conjure Queen.
Okay. They say that wormwood is really good for like feminine issues like mugwort, wormwood, what's that other one? And you could add a little bit of honey to your bath. I feel like honey is really good for sweetening up your aura, right? Parsley is also really good too for that, like I said. And also I wouldn't use rue if you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant. And anybody in here, I would just suggest that, you know, you research these herbs and stuff and make sure that it doesn't counteract with any medications that you're taking. Make sure that you're not allergic to any of these things, right? Like the walnut bath, make sure you're not allergic to walnuts, because that will be a disaster. If you take a bath with walnut and you just start breaking out your throat closed, we don't want that. Feel me? So yeah, somebody said red clover is pretty good too. Nutmeg, cinnamon is good for money. Like I said, family too. Well, while Rich is away, y'all know I come prepared with the books. Look, it's where is it? This is Encyclopedia of Spells, and it has a whole bunch of freaking like books in here. Not books. What is it called? A whole bunch of like spells, baths, candle magic, all of that, like everything that you want to know, fertility, hexing, love, money, all of that is in there. The power of the Psalms, if you want to pray over your baths, right? If you want to pray over your baths, if you want to use some of that. Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, you guys can learn about what herbs is in, what herbs do what magical spells. Yep.
Somebody wants to know also, Conjure Queen, what about putting urine in the bath? Putting urine.
I never heard of putting urine in the bath, but that's why they use ammonia. I know that if you add a little bit, like I said earlier, like add ammonia with the rue and the salt to the bath with Florida water, it helps to cleanse your energy. I never did the urine thing, but if you try it, let me know how it worked for you.
Somebody said nutmeg for wealth too. Is that
nutmeg is good for wealth? Yes,
okay.
And cinnamon. Very good.
All right.
And like I said, guys, too, like, you know, you guys can get a book and it'll tell you everything, all your herbs that you need, what it's good for.
Somebody's asking, if someone has a demon attached to them, what will dragon blood do to them?
Oh, good question. So I do notice that, let's say like you have a roommate, they may have like a demon or a lower vibrational entity, because not all demons are bad and not all angels are good. Let's just put that out there. If you notice that you're burning your incense, you're burning your dragon's blood, and this person gets irritated or like they get mad and they be like, turn that shit off. Why you got that stink shit going on? Like people get mad when you burn it. It's the demon in them that is getting irritated. Like it's working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you ever notice that? Like if you burn sage or you burn palo and somebody starts being like, turn that stink shit off, why you burn that? It's them. That means it's working. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. This person keeps asking this question. Brother Rich, please ask Conjure Queen about using cascarilla powder in your bath water and using cascarilla powder and mop water to mop the floor.
Yeah, you could use both of them in your baths and in the floor wash. Cascarilla is the eggshell white. You can make it yourself or you could buy it at a Botanica. It's supposed to be to cleanse and to remove. So yeah, you could use it in either one, my love.
Somebody's asking, can one create an alkaline bath?
I don't know. What do you mean alkaline bath? Do you know what she means, Rich?
No, I don't.
Sorry, love, we don't really understand the question.
Yeah, I think you know, she may be thinking about health and alkaline water and then alkaline food and organic foods. But I think spirituality is a whole different
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's a little different from that. So,
Somebody says use alkaline herbs. That makes sense.
Writing on mirrors while bathing.
Oh, mirror magic. Okay.
You ever do it? You ever wrote with lipstick on the mirror like they do in the movies? I've seen it. You ever do?
No, but I had kissed the mirror once just to see my lip print. I never wrote on it. No, it's funny. No, I never writing on mirrors while bathing. I don't really know the question.
You know what's it?
Ask complete questions, huh?
Yeah, they always ask. I tell them all the time to ask. Good. Grammatically correct questions, but sometimes people just ask short questions. But you know what's interesting about this question and about the baths is that the bath can actually become a mirror. Like if you look down in the water under certain lighting, you'll see yourself, and you could talk to yourself and program the water. That's actually a mirror within itself.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact, Rich.
No, definitely.
I mean, you could do scrying. You could look through the mirror. You could do divination while you're in the bath. Like I said before, like your spiritual gifts are more turned on, are more active or sensitive when you're submerged in water.
King Simon in here. He wants to know if you're in a relationship. I think he's trying to shoot a shot. King Simon said, "Are you with a king?" What?
You know what? King Next question.
This sister's allergic to walnuts. So anything else? Can she use anything else besides walnuts?
Okay, my love. So alternative is lemongrass. Lemongrass is known to be like lemongrass, citrusy things is known to cut things like citrus or lemon juice is known to cut fat. That's why we drink lemon water, to cut the fat in our belly. So by doing like squeezing some lemon or lime juice with lemongrass, you can use that to do some cord cutting.
Okay.
But it's not going to be, it's not the same thing, right? Like, yeah, it's not the same. But see if it works though. And if it doesn't work, Booby, you could always hit me up, contact me.
This is an interesting one right here. Somebody says, what does it mean when you find teeth in your mailbox?
That is very interesting.
Wow.
If somebody sent you teeth,
wow.
What kind of teeth they sent you, girl? Like, was it animal teeth, human teeth? Yeah. It sounds like somebody... That sounds like some mafia thing. Like they trying to send you a sign. I don't know about the rat, but teeth.
Tisha, could you elaborate on that? That question?
That's wild. Either somebody put like, what is your mailbox like? Like, is it where anybody could come by and put stuff in it, or is it locked where like only the mailman can open it? Like, I don't know the situation, because if somebody just walked up and put teeth in your mailbox, it sounds like some type of a hex or some type of spiritual thing going on. If you got enemies, Tisha, you might need to do something about that. Don't touch it with your hand either, because it might be meant for you.
Conjure Queen, can you do these baths in the shower?
Yes, you can do them in the shower. People that don't have bathtubs can do it in the shower. You can pour it over your body. If it's to cleanse and remove, you wipe downwards. If it's to bring things in like attraction for luck, money, love, you wipe upwards. Up.
Yeah, I'm liking these questions y'all asking. I'm gonna do about 3 more, and then we got to get out of here, family. Let's see. Okay. What if you find out someone is carrying your photo on the back of their phone without your permission? This is Michelle wants to know this.
If you find out someone is carrying your photo in the back of their phone, I mean, we live in an age of social media now, where people can just take your photo to do all types of things to you, right? Them having your photo in the back of their phone and having it to do it, I don't know what to say, love. All I could say is do your own spiritual protection. Like, we can't control what other people do to us, right? We can only control what we do for ourselves, like protecting ourselves properly, grounding ourselves, being aware when a spirit is giving us a sign somebody is trying to attack us, right? Like if we're smelling those weird things, if things are breaking in our house, if we're having spiritual paraphernalia, like things flying around our rooms, pictures flying off the walls and stuff, poltergeist, then it might be a sign that it's time to do like a full house cleansing, not just a spiritual bath, but your whole entire house, everybody in the house, and probably some rituals. But guys, like I said, I don't know if I said this, but I'm about to return doing my readings again. I know that we're entering into 2024 and people want to know like what's in store for them, if they do have witchcraft on them, because sometimes it's not witchcraft. Sometimes it could just be you, right? Sometimes people think it's witchcraft, and remember, the mind creates scenarios. So you can be hexing yourself sometimes, not even know it. But yeah, that's what spiritual readings help to give you clarity to know, like if somebody sent it to you, who sent it to you. And also I do root work too, guys. So if you be like, listen, Conjure Queen, I want to send that shit back to that bitch, like I got you. And that'll also teach them not to mess with you no more. Sometimes you gotta fight back.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have Conjure Queen's info. You're gonna send me your info for them to
yes,
like you did last time.
Can I say, I don't know if I could type it in. Can I type it in here? I think I can. No, because the link is not gonna let me, right?
Yeah, because they're gonna.
Okay, but it's IamConjureQueen.com though, Rich.
You see where it's the private chat with me and you? You can send it to me, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, send it to me there, and then I'll post it.
Let me do that right now.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're gonna do I'm gonna do 2 more questions, then we get out of here. But thank you for everybody for tuning in. This was an amazing show. Great, very great show. I know a lot of y'all learned a lot tonight. Okay, here we go. All right, well, I put this link in here. I see you got it here. I'm about to add her link, but there was a question. Damn, where did it go?
The chat is going super fast.
Yeah, it's going so fast. I wanted to help. There was a sister who wanted to know something about being pregnant. Okay, here we go. What are some good herbs to use in a bath during pregnancy?
With pregnancy, let's see. I like the fact of I know that they have like this bath where you will take like roses and you can use milk and honey, and you can bathe in that to like sweeten up your energy, and also to sweeten up the energy of the baby. Like they say it's like to make a smooth and sweet delivery, but as long as you're not allergic to like any of the type of like milks or honey and stuff like that, my love. But soaking actually in water is really good for women that are pregnant, my love. And also I would say to look into certain herbs that is synchronized with Yemaya. I don't know why that's coming to me right now, but I feel like you need to either work with Yemaya's energy or look into her energy, because I feel like her energy is around you right now.
Last question, Conjure Queen. A good one I want to end it with. Are spiritual baths good for children and toddlers?
Oh, definitely. They have rituals where they would bathe like the newborn, bless the newborn to make sure that no evil entities come around them, bathing a baby with, and I'm always a little bit sketchy about like giving certain herbs to certain babies, because baby skin is very sensitive, right? So I would say like do your own research and find out like, make sure your baby is not allergic to certain herbs. You're not allergic, because it could be hereditary to your baby. But I definitely feel like when it comes to bathing your children, you should incorporate spiritual baths with them, right? Like whether they go into school or newborns, to protect them from evil eye. And also after bathing the baby, and whatever herbs and oils that you want to use. Some people could just use like olive oil, right? And anoint the baby's head, their feet, so that it will keep like the hag or evil spirits away. Because for some reason, entities like to be attracted to newborns and children.
All right. Wow. I want to thank you, Conjure Queen, for coming on the platform once again.
Thank you for having me.
Blessing us with this topic, spiritual baths. I think this is something very important. It's something that's slept on by a lot of people. And I think that we all need to take spiritual baths more serious. So shout out to everybody who's tuned in. Before we get out of here, once again, leave all your contact info. Let them know all the classes or courses or anything you got coming up. Let them know all of that, Conjure Queen.
Okay, guys. So you guys can follow my YouTube. It's I am Conjure Queen, as well as my Instagram at I am Conjure Queen. And also, like I said, we're going to do the group ritual, road opening ritual on the new moon, December 12th. That's a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And anybody that knows and did rituals with us before, you know that our rituals work. Like, we get results. It's simple and effective. So there's still time to sign up for that. Also, I'm going to be opening up my readings again. I took a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm back. And for those who know, like, I channel spirits, I channel deities, star beings, the dead, the muertos. I am a medium to the intergalactic beings and the spirits of the dead. So if you want to communicate with like a loved one, I can definitely help you do that. So reach out to me. It's best to contact me through my website. If you go on my website and go to contact, it's easier to get me that way, because I don't answer DMs because there's scammers out here. It's like 1,000 Conjure Queens on Instagram. It ain't not me.
But damn, you talk to the intergalactic beings too? Wow. I
do. Rich, this is where I be getting my ideas from. Like, no matter what I do, I've tried to quit this spiritual path so many times, and it's like, this is my destiny. I can't stop. Like, they like, what do you think you're doing? That's the word, right? Like,
damn. Wow. Now that's powerful. That's powerful. Well, I want to thank you for coming on here once again.
Thank you, Rich. It's
family,
fun.
Everybody who's tuning in, I want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow this sister on Instagram. Her Instagram is popping. She got the YouTube channel, Conjure. YouTube channel is what?
Conjure Queen.
Conjure Queen. Follow on YouTube, Conjure Queen. Make sure you reach out to her. With that being said, Black Magic, Conjure Queen. We getting out of here, family. Peace.
Peace.
Raw TV. I am not black.